So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of the CDO podcast, where we are specifically authentic and family expressive. So, personally, I've had a splendid week. It's actually Tuesday, so far, very tiring, of course, up and down, a lot of things. But even in the midst of all this, there's something that I came across it, and I thought that maybe I could be able to share. So, like I said, that this podcast is all about learning and being able to educate each other as we go on. So, the concept here would be something that would be abbreviated as CIA. So, for most of us who are fortunate enough to have grown in the era where there is television and film, we might have come across CIA from the American film industry. I think it means Central Intelligence Authority, something of the sort. Yeah, in the film realms. But I came across this concept and I felt like it is something so eye-opening, and it is in the realms of brand creation, how to create a brand. Now, we are going to start from the C. So the C here will stand for credibility. And what is credibility? The dictionary or Google will just say that credibility is the quality of being trusted and believed in. So in my thought, I'm like, how would you be credible? And what are the examples of credibility or situations where you're credible? And this would be just saying what you mean and meaning what you say. That's what I'd describe as credibility, especially in a world where there's seemingly a scarcity for truthful men. You'll find out that a lot of people are really, really cautious when it comes to what they are told, because we have found ourselves in situations in life where people just say stuff to us just to get away with some things, or just to dupe us into believing in what they are saying, but they do not mean what they say. They do not follow through with what they say. Their actions do not show or do not really go along with their words. And this has been a huge problem, whether it's in business, whether it's just in every facet of life, whether it's in family, wherever it is. You realize that a lot of people just pay lip service to a lot of things, but they do not follow through credibly. And when you want to understand and you want to clearly dig in and see whether they mean what they say, then you realize that it is the complete opposite. I'll give an example. We live, for example, in a society where politics is the order of the day, and you ask uh, 10 people today whether they trust the politician that they know, whoever it is, that they would point out, that they will tell you that they do not trust them, that they do not believe in them, that these guys just talk and talk and talk and talk, and these guys do not match their talk with what they actually do. And this just shows the lack of credibility on the side of the political class. And this as well, you might remember that these politicians are brands. So these are brands or public figures who have decided that their core business is not to be trusted and is not to be believed. So they lack credibility in all angles. And this has really affected the way we are governed. This has really affected the way we interact with the political class. This has really affected the way we interact with politics, the way we make our choices, for example. And yeah, it is a sad situation. So uh, the credibility aspect is really important. It is the cornerstone of brand building, if you ask me. And this is something that I feel very strongly about moving forward as an individual and making those steps towards just making sure that I'm credible, making sure that my face out there is a face that people can trust and people can believe in. So the next aspect will be influence, and generally influence is the capacity to have an effect on character, development, or behavior of someone on something. If you look at this influential figures, whether they're political figures, whether they are business and business people and persons, whether they're influencers, for example. And this is why brands hire influencers. Brands hire influencers simply because these influencers have people who follow them. And perhaps these people who follow them are people who like who they are, love them in terms of who they are, and have built a trust in them. And this just stems back to credibility. So people actually follow maybe brands that basically mirror who they are, and brands that speak to their character, brands that influence their behavior, whether it is behavior on the stores, for example. There are products that just influence the way you look at things. And you, for example, I've come to understand on my part that there are so many supermarket brands, but there's no brand that speaks to me more than Naivas. And reason is I like the way they shelve up. I like how simple it is. I love the lighting inside. Just feel at home when I interact with Naivas. When I go to any other supermarket, there's always that feeling of let me just shop and move. Let me just shop and leave this place as fast as I can. So this is an influence that Naivas has had in my life over the years. And of course, it stems from being that I've interacted with it so much, and there's some part of trust and belief. And this just goes back to credibility. There's some belief and trust that I've had over the years as I've interacted with this particular brand, and it actually influenced my behavior. I could pass any other supermarket and just go into a Naivas. And so as a brand, I feel like influence is one of the core things that you have. And of course, it just comes from being credible. People have trusted you, people have believed in you. And so you have the power now to even shift narratives. You have the power to change mindsets. You have the power to change behavior and character. And it would serve you right if the power that you have stems from credibility, and it stems from the right things and the right behavior and the right values that you possess. So the last aspect would be authority. So once you have credibility, you can influence people. Now the last part would be the authority, and the authority would be the power or right to give orders, make decisions, and enforce obedience. Again, this time around, I'll take an example of another field that I work on. I'm a coach. So you would basically go through all these steps where, as a coach, as Coach Dexter, the players would feel that they can trust me and they can believe in me. So I take the credibility aspect. The influence, I can basically change their behavior. I can basically have an effect on their character. And so next would be authority. And now I could give them orders, and this is the things that we do every other day. We give orders to players. Of course, it is in a nice way, in a more consultative manner, and they will follow. We will make decisions that they will trust in that process, because there's a sole responsibility of a coach is to make decisions, and you will enforce obedience where there might be a couple of characters here and there that do not want to toe the line and all that. So this would be you now as a leader as a brand exercising authority as the last step. So one, you started with being credible, you're trusted, and you're believed in. And now there's people that trust and believe you, and, or rather believe in you. You have influenced them into particular behaviors, and you have developed them through those criteria of the things that you feel you have as values, and the character that you are. So people will just like basically follow through the character that you are, and that is how you influence them. And then the last part would be now they trust you so much, they follow you that much, and so you can guide them, and you can be an authority over them. You can give orders and they will be followed. You can make decisions and they will feel like those are the right decisions, and you can enforce obedience where necessary. So these are the three key CIA components that I sought to bring to the fore. Just to recap, the C would be the credibility, which is the quality of being trusted and believed in. Next would be the influence, and that is the capacity to have an effect on character, to develop or behave or change the behavior of someone or something. And then the authority would be the power or the right to give orders, to make decisions, and enforce obedience. I would honestly love to get your feedback on those, or rather, this entire topic of building a brand. Like I said in the beginning, this is just a platform where we can all learn together. This is something that I'm learning right now as I continue to build the brand, which is Coach Dexter Otieno, CDO. And I would like to share with anybody out here who would want to go through the same journey, or who is already going through the same journey. I'd like to thank two of the sponsors of this video, Do It Merchants and Sports Track Company Limited. Do It Merchants is your plug for sports equipment, where Sports Track Limited is your go-to in terms of management of players, coaches, sports athletes in general. So make sure to hook them up, the two of the brands that have sponsored this video today.